Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, and this is Shabai from the GMS Denver. And today I'm just going to go in on the 119th Psalm and just see where the Spirit takes me. All right, it says in Psalm 119 and starting at the top, Aleph, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Yahweh. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. All right. So you got a lot of people walking around talking about they're blessed, and that God has blessed them. But if you're not keeping his testimonies and you're not walking in the law of Yahweh to the best of your ability, then you're not blessed. So this is a cut to the pagan Christianity. How can they walk around saying they're blessed and they don't even acknowledge the law? You see? And he says in verse 2 that you need to seek Yahweh with your whole heart. All right? So are these pagan Christians seeking Yahweh with their whole heart? The answer is no, Because part of seeking Yahweh is teaching his flock. Do you have a lot of these pagan Christians? Are they on the street corners teaching the flock? Are they feeding the flock? And the answer is no. All right. So you can't be fooled by these pagan Christians, man, and these other doctrines that they're not doing what is required, what is said in the book. Okay. Verse 3: They also do no iniquity; they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. All right, and that's another thing. These pagan Christians, they don't keep the precepts diligently. These people that call themselves Christians, they might go to church once a month, if that. And when they do go to church, they're going into a pagan a Christian doctrine. They're in a church where most of those Catholic churches, they have the image of the white Jesus up on a cross, or they have in their pamphlets, these pagan Christian churches where they got the same pagan image of that white Jesus. And we know through the Spirit his name's not even Jesus. So you're not keeping the precepts diligently, man, in any of those doctrines. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. And a true man of the Lord is going to be directed to keep the statutes, And I'm not saying that we keep the law in perfection, but we definitely rehearse the righteous acts, We keep the high holy days, we keep the Sabbath to the best of our ability. We're not out here eating pork, which them pagan Christians, they have bacon festivals and shit like that, I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. And we do that. We're constantly praising Yahweh, and I went into the judgment part. I went into that on my last lesson, speaking on how the Israelites, his elect, his hopeful elect, the ones who are doing the work of Israel. We know the judgment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. The Christians, they don't deal with judgment. They don't understand judgment. Okay. All right. It says in verse, 8, I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. And that's the prayer of the elect. For Yahweh not to forsake us, not to forget about us. Verse 9, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? by taking heed there to according to thy word. All right. How do we make ourselves pure? How do we make ourselves cleansed? How do we make ourselves likened unto virgins? Is by taking heed to this word. According to understanding, though, you gotta acknowledge Yahweh Bashem Yoshai according to sound doctrine, not according to lies or the precepts of men, because that's all vain worship, meaning useless. It's useless to go and pray to a white Jesus. Okay, you over here a so-called black dude or a so-called Mexican dude, and you're in there praying to a white Jesus. That don't even make sense. Verse 10, with my whole heart have I sought thee. O let me not wander from thy commandments. Again, the whole thing of the Christians, the pagan Christians, they've definitely wandered from thy commandments. They're not keeping the Sabbaths. They're not keeping the high holy days. Instead, they're keeping Christmas, which that's a pagan holiday. They have Halloween parties and shit at their Christian churches, the pagan Christian church. All right. And that's the spirit, because I wasn't going to plan this lesson to attack the pagan Christian church. But, through the spirit, you read Psalm 119 and it makes you think of all these churches that are going off and not teaching the truth with sincerity. You see? It says in verse 11, thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Yahweh, teach me thy statutes. Right? These pagan Christians, they don't have this type of mindset. They're not worried about the statutes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's the furthest thing from their mind, are the laws and the statutes and the commandments. They'll tell you that well, first of all, they think there's only 10 commandments. And then, they'll tell you that the law is done away with, that we're under grace and this is the mercy of God, right? And Jesus died for our sins. That's what they say, right? We know his name's not Jesus, but this is the ignorant things that they say, knowing that the law is not done away with, and that's easy to prove, right? Matthew 5:15. Oh, wait, Salakia. Where's it? Matthew 15. Let me see. Okay, Matthew 5:17. I was off 2 verses. So it says, think not, this is Yahushua speaking, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. All right? So Yahushua said with his own mouth that he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. So the law is still, it's still relevant. Unlike these pagan Christians, they act like the law is obsolete, like it's done away with, like they don't have to, and that's what they teach. That's why our people are out here, transgressing the law daily with no remorse, no reverence. And really, when you get technical, the majority of Israelites don't even know the law. And again, we're in captivity. We can't keep the law to perfection. But guess what? There are laws that, you can keep. And those are, really, you should try to keep the whole law. But, we're rehearsing the righteous acts and keep the law. If you know the law is not to eat pork, don't eat pork. If the law says not to sleep with another man's wife, then don't be sleeping around with another man's wife. That's an abomination. That's a sin worthy of death. These people out here, they don't have that mindset. They'll disrespect the law, and they'll disrespect you, and they'll disrespect your wife. You see? Let me see, where am I at? Verse 13. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. The only ones doing that are the prophets. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as much as in all riches. I will meditate in thy precepts, and I respect unto thy ways. And there it is. You respect unto his ways. And what are his ways? His laws, his statutes, his commandments. The men in this truth, we are constantly meditating on the precepts, constantly thinking about the scriptures, constantly thinking about the laws. If there's something that we're faced with, and it deals with breaking the law, well, guess what? We're gonna do to the best of our ability. We're not gonna break that law. If it's give you an example. If it's the Shabbat, and let's say you have the day off, and you might have if you're not married, you have an opportunity to go out and meet a woman and have sex with her. Well, if it's the Shabbat, then you're going to consider that law, and you're going to stay your ass home. You're going to study, you're going to do some lessons, but you're not going to just openly break the laws of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Or if you have a wife and she lives with you, and she's feeling freaky and she want to have sex, and it's the Shabbat, and you're going to use your self-discipline, and you're going to consider the law, and you're not going to go in unto her. You see? And like I say, the majority of our people, they don't even understand or consider the laws. Verse 16, I will delight myself in thy statutes, I will not forget thy word. Okay, who does that? The men who are out here sighing and crying and teaching and preaching this and pushing this true doctrine. We delight in the statutes. We're happy to keep the law. When we do keep the laws, which we examine ourselves daily, and we like I say, we rehearse the righteous acts. And guess what? When the next day comes and we know that we were obedient, and we kept the law, and we didn't go out and be an openly, be a heathen or act like a heathen, then guess what? It brings some it's delightful, you see. 17, deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. Right, and that's another thing. We pray for Yahweh to give us the understanding to teach us the law. Because when we first came into this truth, we didn't even know a lot of laws. We didn't even know the law. But as you grow in the truth, you grow in the spirit, then you start to realize, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to eat pork. Okay, if I'm a man, I need to have a beard. Okay, if it's the Shabbat, I need to do my best to just, keep the Shabbat and not sit here and, sometimes you got to work on the Shabbat, because we're in captivity, But if you can't, if you can avoid working on the Shabbat, then hey, that's a good practice to keep. And actually, we're sitting here considering the law, when the majority of these people, they don't even consider the law. Verse 19. I am stranger in the earth. Hide not thy commandments from me. I am a stranger in the earth. Right. And this is a strange land for us, because in reality, Babylon, America, this is a strange nation, This place is not our rest, and it's mercy that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has had on us to give us the truth, to give us the knowledge, to let us worship him in our captivity, Let's get that in Baruch. To remember ourselves in our captivity, Let's see. Is it 26, I want to say? $36 maybe? No. Let's see. Okay, I'm right on it. It's right there. Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. You see that? So we're remembering ourselves, and part of remembering ourselves is remembering the laws and the statutes and commandments. Okay, remembering who we are as a people. Because you have our people that are so stubborn they don't even recognize themselves being Israelites. And when you tell them they're Israelites, they'll get mad. Oh, I'm a brown pride. I'm a Mexican to the day I die. Or or black power, or what I'm saying. I'm a African American. All kind of bywords, and they're stuck on them bywords that the oppressor gave to them. You see, these are all part of the curses, to not know who you are as a people. Let's see, where am I at? Verse 17. Gimel, it says, deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold the wondrous things out of the law. I am a stranger in the earth, hide not the commandments from me. Right, and the people who are not of the elect, the Israelites who are of the 2/3, the wicked portion of our people, well, guess what? Yahweh Bashem Yoshai has still hid his commandments from you, and it's going to lead to your destruction. It's going to lead to your downfall. Right? It's going to be detrimental for you when Yahweh Bashem Yoshai visit the earth. It says in verse 20, my soul breaketh for longing, that it hath unto thy judgments at all times. Thou hast rebuked the proud that are cursed, which do err from thy commandments. And who's the proud? You have the wicked, who starts out with Esau, Edom. Then you have the wicked of our people that follow Esau, Edom. And they don't hearken to the truth. They don't take heed. Like it says in verse 9, it says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. They don't take heed to the word. Instead, they take heed to the precepts of men, to the doctrines of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the man who leads them to destruction, the man who causes them to err, you see. Where am I at? Verse 22, remove from me a reproach and contempt, for I have kept thy testimonies. And who can say that? Who's keeping their testimony? The testimonies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It's the hopeful elect. Princes also did sit and speak against me, but thy servant did meditate in thy statutes. Thy testimonies are my delight and my counselors. Right. We have godly counsel. And why is that? Because our counsel comes from the scriptures. Like when I deal with my daughter, my oldest daughters, when they ask me things about life, or when they're having struggles here in Babylon, and we don't know if we call ourselves the hopeful elect for a reason, But my daughter, she'll call me because she's married and she has issues. Of course, trouble in thy flesh, right? When you have a husband or a wife, as it is written, you're going to have trouble in your flesh. So when she calls me sometimes just stressed out or whatever, or feeling like she can't take it no more, like she has to get out the relationship, the marriage, and I'm telling her, like directing her, like, hey, basically you need to go back to your husband, shut the F up and go back to your husband, right? And why is that? Because I'm giving her godly counsel. You got these men who have daughters, and they're married, their daughters are married, and their daughters tell them, he doesn't treat me the way he used to, or he doesn't, things are not the same, and they're giving all these excuses on why they want to leave their husband. And that turns a woman into a whore. If you leave your husband, you become a whore in the eyes of the Most High Yahweh. So you got these simps, these fathers who telling their daughters, "Oh, well, if he don't treat you the same way, or he doesn't do this, or you're not happy no more, then you need to go find a better man." And that's not godly testimony, you know? That's not a godly counsel. But see, the man of Yahweh, and I'm just speaking on this because I have experience in this. But when you come to a man of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, you're going to get counsel. You're going to get godly counsel. You're not going to get worldly counsel. We're not going to be simps and telling you to giving you the wrong advice. And what's the wrong advice? Anything that is goes against this knowledge, goes against this truth. And that's, as a father and being in this knowledge and in this truth, I can tell you, and brothers, if you have daughters that are older, married, and so on and so forth, you can understand where I'm coming from. But listen, the Most High it's a test, right? Because we know what the scriptures say about our daughters and about the husbands, and when your daughters are coming to you with these problems, then that's when it's like a test. And Yahweh's putting you to the test, like, hey, are you gonna give godly counsel? Or are you gonna fold up and give your daughter worldly counsel and give her a green pass, give her the green light to go be a hoe? You see what I'm saying? So, hey, we all have our our burden, on this truth, in this knowledge. And if you have daughters, hey, daughters can be a burden, man, and sons too. But I'm speaking from the perspective of daughters because I'm a father with daughters only, you see. So let's go to the next verse, verse 24. Thy testimonies are my delight and my counselors. There you go. Daleth, my soul cleaveth unto the dust. Quicken thou me according to thy word. Right, so the elect are going to be quickened unto the word. The others are going to be slumber. They're going to be they're not going to quicken. The word's not going to quicken them. The majority of the people on the planet Earth. The elect are the only ones who are going to be quickened when the scriptures is taught to them correctly. You got to teach them correctly. Verse 26, I have declared my ways, and thou heardest me. Teach me thy statutes. All right? So, again, a prayer of an elect man is you're constantly asking Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, to teach you thy statutes. Teach us the ways of Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai. Have mercy on us. Show us the commandments. Show us the testimonies. Show us the knowledge. Show us the judgment, you see? That's a prayer of an elect man. Verse 27, make me to understand the way of thy precepts, so shall I talk of thy wondrous works. There you go. My soul melteth for heaviness. Strengthen thou me according to thy word. Right. Yeah, and this is our strength. When it comes down to it, this is our strength. This is really all we have is these scriptures, these precepts, these knowledge, the comforter. This is all we have. All right, because when everything gets crazy here in Babylon, in the time of Jacob's trouble, which we're in the forefront of Jacob's trouble, but when it really hits hard, guess what? We already know Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right, and this is the true treasure, brothers. This knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, that quickens our spirit. Hey, this is better than rubies. This is better than gold. This is better than silver. This is better than riches. This is better than women. Let's get that precept real quick. Or a precept. Proverbs 16:16. It says, how much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. You see? It's better to be chosen than to have a bunch of silver. It's better to get wisdom than to have a bunch of gold. You see? Because gold is not going to save us in the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, in the day of wrath. Silver, it can't save us in the day of wrath. But the wisdom can. You see? Psalm 119. And 29, remove me the way of lying and grant me thy law graciously. And remove me the way of lying. Hey, when we do these lessons, when we do these when we're at the camps, it's good, it's wise to throw up a prayer to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and say, hey, please don't let me cause the flock to err. Please let me teach sound doctrine. You want to say those prayers, brothers, before you do your lessons. You want to throw up them prayers like, hey, Yahweh Baba Kashah, please give me the ability to teach this lesson correctly, or please give me the ability to break this parable down the correct way. Because we're in the flesh, man. We go off, we mess things up sometimes, but we always, take pride in correcting the mistakes. So really, you just want to remove from me the way of lying, like it says here. You don't want to have any guile in your mouth, any deception in your mouth, like it tells you in Revelation 14, I believe the 4th verse, where it says that these men were, well, let's get it real quick. When you teach the song, you don't want to sing the lyrics wrong. 14:4. It says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb, Yahweh Shai. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High Yahweh. Right, and guile goes into deception or lies. So, remove the lies from our mouth when we teach these scriptures, We don't want to be causing the flock to go astray. You don't want to teach the flock the false doctrine, or you don't want to go off, right? Because when you do that, you become immediately a false prophet. So 119 and verse, I'm at 30. This is a long chapter, Psalm 119 is long. I think it has 176 precepts or verses. So I'm at verse 30. Alright, so verse 30, it says, I have chosen the way of truth. Thy judgments have I laid before me. I have stuck unto thy testimonies, O Yahweh, put me not to shame. Again, this is, a prayer. We should pray that we don't get put to shame, because it's a shameful thing if you're out here like these camps and these Israelites that are out here teaching unsound doctrine or teaching things with gimmicks and lies and causing the flock to err. These men should be ashamed of their doctrine when they go off. For instance, when they're teaching that the micro C hip is not the mark. That's a shameful thing, and they're gonna feel the heat when Esau Edom unleashes that MOTB, that micro C hip. They're gonna have some explaining to do, and they're gonna feel the shame when that happens. Verse 32, I will run the way of thy commandments when thou shall enlarge my heart. Right. So when you learn the truth, when you learn the precepts and statutes and commandments and the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, guess what? Your heart is enlarged. which your heart is your mind. Heart and mind, hand in hand. So this is going to enlarge our understanding by what? Knowing the commandments. 33. Teach me, O Yahweh, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end. There you go. And guess what? The ones who are sincere. So let's get it in Matthew 24. It says, Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. There you go. That's why, as the hopeful elect, you wanna say this prayer. You want to say, let me read it again. Teach me, O Yahweh, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end. Right. If you're going to be able to endure unto the end, why? Because you learned the way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and you kept the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And brothers, every day there's going to be challenges, there's going to be tribulations, there's going to be burdens, but you don't give up. You just keep pushing. And if you're in the right spirit, you're in the right mindset, then Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to give you the strength to endure. Verse 34. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yeah, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Right. And the understanding is what? Understanding the truth, understanding the laws, statutes, and commandments. And then you observe it with your whole heart, your whole mind, right? You meaning it's constantly in your head. Like I said earlier, meditate. You meditate on the truth. You meditate on the laws, the statutes, the precepts. You consider, is today is if it's like the Sabbath just passed. So guess what? We were considering the Sabbath. We were holding the Shabbat. We were observing the Shabbat. You see. But if you're not praying for the understanding and praying for the path to go into the commandments, then guess what? You're not even gonna consider the Shabbat. You're not even gonna consider the laws that we can keep easily here in Babylon. Like I say, there are some laws that we're in captivity that it's hard to keep them, but there are a bunch of laws that they're not challenging to keep. And you're just a straight up rebel if you're not even considering the laws that you can fix right away, Verse 36, incline my heart unto thy testimonies and not to covetousness. Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. Again, quicken us in the way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and turn away our eyes from observing uselessness, like things that are useless. We should pray for Yahweh to just take these things that are useless. They don't do nothing for our salvation. They don't do nothing for the brotherhood. They don't do nothing for us growing and waxing strong in the spirit. Take that away from us. 38. Establish thy word unto thy servant who is devoted to thy fear. You see, and really, this is like a long prayer. Because throughout the whole chapter, it's basically, it's a request. Like the word pray, it means to beg. So as servants in this truth, we should beg that Yahweh establishes his words unto us, because we're the servant. And we should be devoted to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in fear. Fear is the beginning of wisdom, is it not? Verse 39. Turn away my reproach which I fear, for thy judgments are good. Behold, I have longed after thy precepts. Quicken me in thy righteousness. Right? And that's the spirit of a true soldier. That's the spirit of a true servant. You're longing for the precepts. Like I remember when I first came in this knowledge, man, I couldn't get enough. I just wanted to learn. I wanted to have all the wisdom. I have all the knowledge. But of course, it doesn't happen overnight. You got to grow in the spirit daily. And you got to, even when you think you got it, you really don't. You keep going. That's why this thing's called living water. Because the living water is constantly flowing. You know, even the elders will tell you they've been pushing this knowledge, doing the work for, close to 40 years, but yet they'll still tell you that they're still learning, that they still, growing in this knowledge. Let thy mercies come also unto me, O Yahweh, even thy salvation according to thy word. And we know what salvation is according to the word. So we're praying for, true salvation. These pagan Christians, when they pray, first of all, they're praying to white Jesus, which that they messed up there. And then when they're praying for salvation, they'll tell you on Friday they prayed for salvation, and they tell you Saturday they got saved. You see, so those ain't, that's not salvation according to that word. The true men of the Lord know what the true salvation is. It's when we go up in that chariot, when nuclear war is happening, World War III, and you're being hid from the indignation of the Lord, Yahweh, in a so-called UFO, in a chariot. That's salvation. Then you can say, oh, I've been saved. All right? Yeah, it is preordained, so really everybody who is going to receive that salvation that I just explained, it's already preordained, predestined. So yes, we're saved in that sense, but these pagan Christians are walking around talking about they're saved, and they don't even understand what salvation is, and they don't even know about the predestined part. They think they chose the day that they were saved. That's how they think. They ain't like that. It says in verse 42, so shall I have wherewith to answer him that reproacheth me, for I trust in thy word. And take not the word of truth utterly out of my mouth, for I have hoped in thy judgments. Right. And only the men of the Lord can utter this, can say this, and can say, please, like I was just telling you earlier, don't, give me, please, pray for the ability to teach sound doctrine. Pray for the ability to do the breakdowns right. Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. Give me the power to teach this truth and this knowledge with, soundly, with sincerity. For I have hoped in thy judgments. So shall I keep the law continually forever and ever. Right, and because we know this is true, because when we inherit the kingdom, guess what? We're gonna, at that time, there's no teaching. We don't have to teach our neighbor, like it says. Let's get that real quick, because and we're all going to be keeping the laws, and it is going to be a forever thing for the Israelites. And the heathen nations, they're gonna benefit from this too, because they're gonna live longer lives, and it's because they're gonna actually keep the laws also. All right. Okay. Yeah, and that was Jeremiah, the one I'm thinking of, Jeremiah 31. In 34, it says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for they shall all know me. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. And that's talking about the Israelites. But in that day, because we'd be in the kingdom, we don't have to teach. But right now, we're still required to teach, because we're not up in the chariot. Salvation, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai hasn't returned and delivered us from our captivity. But again, what did it say? Let me read 42, this verse again. Psalm 119 and let me see. Oh yeah, 41. Read this again. it says, let thy mercies come also unto me, O Yahweh, even thy salvation according to thy word. Right? So when the salvation happens according to the way it's written, right? And I can get a few verses on that, on how what salvation is like from, gathering the elect standpoint, right? When he gathers the elect, in that it takes us up into those chariots. And that's what it is, though, and then but in 31, Jeremiah 31 that I just read, guess what? We're not going to be teaching the neighbor. There's not going to be necessary, because they're going to have the laws in the Israelites. It's going to be first nature, not second nature, first nature. You're going to know the law. That's why we don't have to teach. Remember earlier I was speaking on the majority of our people don't even know the laws. Well, in that day, you're going to know the law. The only ones who are going to have to be taught are the heathen, and they're going to have to just follow by example. They're going to see the Israelites. They're going to see the way we live. They're going to see that we're the dominion. They're going to respect and fear the dominion of the Israelites, and they're going to beg to learn our ways. But they're still going to go off, and we're still like the heathen are still going to get judged in that time. So that's what it is, though. Let me get back to this. We're almost done here. Let me see. 44. Oh yeah, so shall I keep thy law continually forever and ever, because in the kingdom we're going to be keeping the laws. Verse 45, and I will walk at liberty, for I seek thy precepts. Right, so we're going to be free because we're the Israelites. We're going to have all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the dominion, and it's going to be given to us by our Father Yahweh, and we receive it because of his Son Yahweh Shai. Right, and I will walk at liberty, for I seek thy precepts, and that's a statement of the elect, the one who seeks his precepts. 46, I will speak of thy testimonies also before kings, and will not be ashamed. And we're doing that right now, because Donald Trump could log into YouTube, tune in, he could see the men of the Lord pushing this truth, pushing this doctrine, and he's the king of Babylon. All right. He's the Pharaoh of spiritual Egypt, and we're not ashamed, we're you know what I'm saying? We're calling out. Well, let's get that one verse. It says, "Take up a proverb against the king of Babylon." Right? Let's see. I think it's Isaiah 14. I think it's Isaiah 14, honestly. Yeah, it is Isaiah 14. And 4, it says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased? And remember, Donald Trump is calling this the golden age of America. But guess what? We're out here speaking of the testimonies of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai before kings, like we just read in Psalms. And this is the same thing. This is that proverb. We're speaking against the king of Babylon. We're telling you your places, your dominion is almost up. Your time to rule is coming to a halt. Right? And we're doing that through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. All right, let me get back to Psalm. We're almost done here. 2 more precepts, and I'm going to close out. So Psalm 119 and 47 says, and I will delight myself in thy commandments, which thou have loved. My hands also, which I lift up thy commandments, which I have loved, and I will meditate in thy statutes. Right? And who loves the commandments? Right? You got to ask yourself, who loves the commandment? Who loves the ways and the precepts and the truth? Who loves this truth? And the answer is the men who are out here on the street corners and on these at the camps and on these videos, doing these lessons and teaching this thing daily. All right, ain't no other group or you know or establishment doing what the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua are doing. We're the ones who are pushing these truths. We're the ones who love the commandments. We're the ones who love this truth. We're the ones who love this knowledge. We're the ones who value Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All right? And we're an ensign and a standard is being set through us. All right? So with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah Kudash. Double honors goes out to the other apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.